Hello, welcome to the video. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for all of the feedback as well from Kristen, Daniel, Graham. That was awesome. Biggest requested question was Dreamweaver. Tell us about Dreamweaver. What is it? How does it work? What do we do? And what's your opinion on it? So I'm going to go and get to this very, very quickly. But I wanted to start, and really this is just another place to start with a website called Wix. Now this is where a lot of you might see you can build a whole website in a website, which is weird. It's kind of meta. And in there, you basically have the ability to go and pick from templates, explore different images that you can use, etc., etc. There's lots of kind of debate whether this is the right way to go and whether this is a good tool for it. I'm particularly not fond of Wix because of certain limits that you have comparatively, but it's definitely a valid way of building a site quickly. I just don't know if I would invest time in becoming an expert in it. And I think learning this stuff and being part of the course, you got to ask yourself, do I just want to make a website for someone and forget about it, or do I want to learn a little bit more? Which leads me to just a quick overview of WordPress. Now, WordPress is a blog engine, which means, again, if you don't want any particular control over where things are, and you just want to select a really nice template and put your content in, and your content being the text you write and the images you have, then again, WordPress is a very valid solution for that. There's, again, less control over what it is that you can do in terms of the visual layout, but it does give you those insights, and it does allow you to create a space to share your thoughts or set up a site for someone who's doing maybe, I don't know, arts and crafts, and they want to showcase what they've got on sale. Perfect way to do that with blog posts and a tool like WordPress. Then we have obviously Adobe Muse, which was another requested what do you think of Muse? And I'm going to get to Muse in a moment. So it's an Adobe product. It's part of your Creative Cloud subscription. It does create amazing visually rich designs. It takes a little bit to get used to, but the whole idea behind it is that you don't actually have to learn how to code, and you'll be able to do some really, really cool stuff. And then we have the big player in this whole field. Dreamweaver has been around for nearly 2 decades, and probably one of the most flexible tools for managing websites as well as building new websites. And I'm going to go into that obviously more as we learn and as we kind of go through these days and practice all this Dreamweaver stuff. But definitely something I've been using for the longest time, so happy to have a conversation about it. Now, just a quick segue. If you have a look at a website of a graphic designer, and this is Andy Patrick's design website. So this is a designer who's changed his website a few times, and this is contact page. The reason Andy has this website is because he wants to chat to you, and I think if you start with a purpose of why you're building the website, it's a lot easier to pick the tool. If you're looking at Wix and WordPress and Muse and Dreamweaver, they're all tools, but they're there to build something, and that building of something is built for a purpose. And the purpose in this sense for Andy here is that he wants to make you, converse with him. And he does it very simply. He has 3 kind of sections. He's got My Work, he's got Home, and he's got Contact Me. My Work is where he goes through all of the detailed pieces of work that he's done, which again is wonderful. And he has these different pages for all of these different pieces that he's worked on, which is great. And he has the whole story of how it came about, etc., etc. But when you look at the beginning of the story, that's probably written at the end, and that's really to kind of say, hi, here I am, here's what I do, here find out a little bit more about me. And as a designer, he's trying to make people kind of relate to him, but also explore and find out what kind of work he does for the ultimate purpose of getting in touch and asking him to do some particular work. So, jumping back over to tools, Muse is a perfect tool for doing a site like Andy Patrick's site. The reason is you have all the design controls and 0 concerns about code. You go in here, you put in the maximum width of being 960, you set up how many columns you want for your layout, so you might want 2, 3, you decide on that later, you can decide on that now. You build the site, you come up with the idea, you say I've got a home page, I also want to have a work page, and I also want to have a contact page. And this in essence is your sitemap. You might also decide that you've got different layouts. So you say, well, I've got a layout 2 and I've got a layout 1. You can apply the layout to any of these other pages and say, look, my home page has a different layout to my contact and my work pages. So then you can go and you can decide, well, I'm going to go and edit this and I'm going to change how my design for this home page looks. And again, lots of widgets, lots of colors, text widgets, things for you to just draw boxes with. That allows you to create that space. And therefore, being very flexible and friendly, because you can just put in some stuff and say, welcome to my homepage. Instantly, that, because it's being applied to the home, appears on the home. Now, that's just an idea, and that's how Muse works. It's visual, it allows you to have subpages, so if you've got work elements, you can have different work pieces, so this can be your poster designs, this can be your illustrations. It starts to create the sitemap, which in essence is like assignment 1 for you as well, but it gives you that visual way of looking at what it is you're building. At the same time, it hides the code. This is where you like Dreamweaver. If you want to learn how to code, and we'll go into that more later, you go into Dreamweaver, you say I want to make a new page, and it asks you what kind of page do you want to make. You want to make a new HTML page. You want to make sure that it's HTML5 from the drop-down. You want to give your page title here, so you say this is my homepage. And if you've got a name like Andy, you say this is Andy's homepage, right? You might attach CSS if you had some, but you probably don't have any, so you don't want to use it. You don't want to use Bootstrap right now because it adds 1,000 lines of code which you don't want to really understand yet. So you click None, put in a title, put in the home HTML page here, and off you go into Dreamweaver, where you see not much, but you'll see a split view of where you can type code, and it remind me in 4 days. And you can see that you've got an area for code, as well as you've got an area for the display. So I can go into my body tag, I can put a H1, I can say hello, I can close my H1, and there's some big text. I can put a paragraph in and say welcome and close my paragraph. If I want to code and I want to see what the code's generating, it's a nice way to work. Again, we'll go more into detail about what Dreamweaver is, but at least I'm hoping that you have all seen the difference between these tools. And it's not about the tool right now. I don't want you to tell me which of these is your favorite, but I do want you to go back and think about what's the actual ultimate purpose of the website you're trying to build. Do you want someone to contact you? Do you want someone to hire you? Do you want someone to recommend you? Do you want people just to buy things from your website? Do you have prints that you've made, or do you have photos that you want to sell? What is it that you ultimately want to create with this website you're making? Because that's going to drive the actual decision around which tool you want to use, and that's going to be important as we go. So apologies for the longer video today, but I just wanted to get through all of that, and please just in the comments share if you're up for it, what the purpose is of the website you're building. I'm not going to hold you to it, but at least it's a start in the conversation, and I think it'll set us up nicely for the next video when we catch up again tomorrow. So thanks for watching, and thanks for the new subscribers. Sean, Christopher, thanks for joining us, and we will definitely answer more of the questions as you ask them. Thanks.